So here we are in the Lost Valley, finished at last. 2 years of planning and building. It seems to have worked. Lost Valley was developed within the framework of the Zootopia. The park itself is one of the world's top 10 attractions. The attraction is all about animals. It's based in the zoological part of the park, and our task was to create an animal engagement experience. Our idea was to create a fictional valley that has existed already, and we're going to take you there. So we created a little story. Man and animals, they once lived in harmony. Then man became greedy and wanted to take some more land from the animals, started to kill the animals. So the animals, under the protection of a great white lion, Tao, and his friend, the elephant, Jom, went into the Lost Valley. This place, they discovered this place for themselves, and it was discovered years later by man, who then was sorry for what he did. They also went into the Lost Valley and created some artwork, created rock-cut architecture to honor the animals. The Lost Valley was created as a landscape experience. We broke that down into 3 different types of landscape. One is the dry savanna, then we have the bamboo forest and the wet savanna. These represent the types of landscape and the types of habitat that these animals actually live in. For instance, in the dry savanna, it concentrates quite a lot on dry grasses, rock formations, which offer the animals a lot of behavioral enrichment. Then as the guests move through, we use a tunnel to do that, so that they can leave one experience behind them and then move into the next landscape for the next experience. And when they come out of the tunnel, they see and experience and hear a great waterfall, and that's the introduction to the wet savanna. And so the wet savanna allows the visitors to move through some water features, and all of a sudden their vehicle, which they hadn't known before, moves towards the water and can swim, just like a boat. We were racking our brains trying to come up with a solution for how to create the maximum amount of turnaround, the amount of visitors that you actually need to move through this space and get them out of that space again at the same time. And then we came to the idea, we really need to have the personal experience. It's not all about moving people through a space, it's about having a personal, emotional experience. So what we did was we redesigned the amphibious vehicle ourselves and extended it to the size that, on the one hand, it's actually the size of a bus, if you think about it. On the other hand, it really looks like it's going to offer me an adventure. So the combination of the two was the key, I think, to the amphibious vehicle. And then the guest moves further forward and the perspective again changes and opens up to a wide, wet savanna landscape. The guest then moves forward through the wet savanna to the final part of the experience, which is where the rhino and cheetah in one landscape together, which is what does happen in the natural wild. And at the very end, our guests move through a swamp landscape, which is the tail end of the wet savanna, and then they arrive back at the camp. The architecture we used was based on an indigenous type of thatched architecture, where we said it was built by the Wildlife Watch team themselves with the help of indigenous people in the Lost Valley, so they used traditional types of detailing. We personalized it a little bit to make sure that the Wildlife Watch team actually have a personality. So we have people in there, real people working and living there and taking us through that space. So the communication adds and enhances that experience in an emotional way. Our vision for the future is to bring our guests who experience our projects emotionally closer to the content, emotionally closer to being able to participate and create something themselves. It's about creating an environment which enhances the experience that is within that environment. That's what I'd like to achieve for the future.